The enormous crystal chamber of the Galactic Council hummed with activity. Thousands of beings from hundreds of worlds filled the vast space. Some floated in anti-gravity fields, others stood on platforms adjusted to their homeworld's gravity. The air smelled of strange scents from 100 alien atmospheres, carefully mixed to keep everyone comfortable. Elder Taiho walked slowly to the speaking platform. His blue skin shimmered under the bright lights. The 4 eyes on his lined face blinked one after another, a sign of deep worry among his people. The ancient Arduvian had served the council for over 200 years. When he spoke, most listened. Honored members of the council, Taiho began, his voice translator making his complex language understandable to all. I come before you with troubling news. The chamber grew quiet. Even the usual whispers stopped. Our scout ships have found a new spacefaring race. They call themselves humans. They have just begun to explore beyond their solar system. A holographic image appeared above the platform. It showed a blue-green planet circling an ordinary yellow star. Look closely, said Taiho. These humans appear weak. Their technology is basic. Their ships are slow and fragile, but appearances can fool us. The hologram changed to show humans building cities, fighting wars, and healing their sick. In just 3,000 years, they went from simple tools to space travel. Many of us took 50,000 years to do the same. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Some delegates leaned forward with interest. Others shook their heads or equivalent, body parts in disbelief. They adapt faster than any species we have encountered, continued Taiho. They survive in environments that would kill many of us. They learn from their mistakes quickly. Ambassador Kang of the Vargan Confederacy stood up. His tall insect-like body towered over nearby delegates. The Vargons controlled the largest military force in the known galaxy. Elder Taiho always brings us scary stories, Kang said. His mandibles clicked together in what the Vargons considered laughter. These humans occupy one small planet. Their fastest ships would take 50 years to reach our nearest outpost. True, replied Taiho calmly. But their rate of progress suggests they will not remain primitive for long. The hologram changed again. It showed humans fighting each other with increasing deadly weapons. They are also highly aggressive when threatened. They will fight even when victory seems impossible, and they remember those who harm them. Kang clicked his mandibles again. All the more reason to contain them now, while we can do so easily. Their world sits at the edge of our planned expansion zone. We cannot allow potential threats to develop there. The chamber erupted with voices. Some agreed with Kang, others supported Taiho's caution. The council leader, a gas-based life form floating in a special container, pulsed bright yellow to call for quiet. We will vote, the leader announced. Shall we approach these humans with diplomacy, as Elder Taiho suggests, or shall we authorize the Vargon Confederacy to conduct a containment operation? The voting took 1 full hour. Each delegate carefully registered their choice. When the results appeared on the great screen, many gasped. The vote favored the Vargon's approach, but only by a small margin. Kang stood tall, mandibles spread wide in victory. We will handle this quickly. The humans will never threaten galactic peace. As the chamber emptied, Taiho approached Kang. The contrast between them was striking. The small-aged blue-skinned diplomat and the tall armored insectoid warrior. You have made a terrible mistake, Taiho said quietly. I have studied these humans extensively. They are unlike any species we have encountered. Your concern is noted, Elder, Kang replied, but unnecessary. Our military technology is thousands of years ahead of theirs. They cannot harm us. It is not their technology that concerns me, Taiho said. It is their nature. When cornered, when facing extinction, something changes in them. They become something else. Superstitious nonsense, Kang said. We will subdue them quickly. They will accept our rule or face consequences. Taiho watched as Kang walked away. The old diplomat felt a deep sadness. In his long life, he had seen many conflicts. He had learned to recognize danger. The Vargons, in their pride, could not see what was coming. May the stars forgive us, Taiho whispered to himself. The humans certainly won't. As Taiho left the chamber, he made a secret decision. If the council would not listen, perhaps he could warn the humans directly. It would break many council laws. He might face execution for treason. But something had to be done. The Vargon fleet was already preparing for departure. War was coming to Earth, and the galaxy would never be the same. Commander Minji stood on the bridge of her massive warship, watching as the blue planet grew larger on the main screen. Earth looked peaceful from space. Oceans covered most of its surface. White. Clouds swirled in its atmosphere. It seemed hard to believe that such a dangerous species lived there. "All ships in position," reported her second-in-command. "We have surrounded their planet." Minji nodded, her black exoskeleton gleaming under the bridge lights. The Vargon fleet numbered 200 vessels. Each one could destroy a small city with a single shot. The humans had nothing that could match them. "Open communication channels to all their major governments," she ordered. "They should see our power before we speak." On Earth, panic spread as the alien ships appeared. They had come without warning, massive dark shapes blocking the stars. World leaders gathered in emergency meetings. Military forces went on high alert. Ordinary people looked up at the sky in fear. Then the message came. The alien commander's face appeared on screens worldwide. Minji's insect-like features were frightening to human eyes. Her mandibles clicked as she spoke. The words translated into all major Earth languages. "People of Earth, I am Commander Minji of the Vargon Confederacy. Your planet now falls under our protection. Surrender your weapons. Accept our authority. You have 1 day to comply." In a secret underground facility, the leaders of Earth's nations argued about how to respond. "We cannot fight them," said one president. "Their technology is too advanced." "We cannot surrender without trying," replied another. "Humanity does not bow so easily." Sunwoo, a young general from Korea, stepped forward. "I have a plan, but it will require all nations to work together." As the deadline approached, Commander Minji prepared to receive Earth's surrender. She was surprised when instead a single human appeared on her communication screen. "I am General Sunwoo, speaking for Earth," he said calmly. "We have considered your terms and find them unacceptable." Minji's mandibles clicked in surprise. "You refuse? You cannot hope to defeat us." "Perhaps," said Sunwoo, "but we will not surrender without a fight." Minji cut the communication. "Begin the attack," she ordered. "Target their military bases first." The Vargon ships fired their weapons. Beams of energy struck military installations around the world. Explosions lit up the night side of the planet. But then something unexpected happened. Hundreds of small ships rose from Earth. They were clearly not military vessels. Many were adapted from space stations or civilian transports. They moved toward the Vargon fleet in what seemed like a suicide mission. "Ignore them," Minji ordered. "They cannot penetrate our shields." She was wrong. The human ships carried powerful nuclear devices. They did not try to shoot at the Vargon vessels. Instead, they deliberately crashed into them, detonating their bombs on impact. 3 Vargon warships exploded in quick succession. The others scrambled to adjust their shields. "Impossible," shouted Minji. "How can they affect our shields?" Her tactical officer looked up in shock. "They're using their civilian communication systems to interfere with our targeting computers. They found a frequency that disrupts our shield harmonics." On Earth, General Sunwoo watched the battle from his command center. The humans had achieved surprise, but he knew it wouldn't last long. "Keep them confused," he ordered. "Every ship, every satellite, broadcast on the frequencies we identified." The Vargon fleet regrouped quickly. Their technology was still far superior. Soon they had adapted to the human tactics. More Earth ships were destroyed than alien ones. Enraged by the unexpected resistance, Commander Minji made a fatal decision. "Target their civilian centers," she ordered. "Show them the cost of defiance." Energy beams struck cities around the world. Buildings collapsed. Fires spread. Millions died in the first hour of the attack. Minji expected surrender. Instead, the human response intensified. In the smoking ruins of Seoul, Lieutenant Jiwoo organized survivors into resistance cells. "They think this will break us," she told her people. "They don't understand humans at E." All similar scenes played out worldwide. Humans did not collapse in fear as expected. They grew more determined, more unified in their resistance. In space, General Sunwoo sent a message to all Earth forces. "We have seen their tactics now. We know their weaknesses. This is just the beginning." On her command ship, Minji received troubling reports. The humans were adapting faster than expected. They were already modifying their weapons based on captured Vargon technology. This was supposed to be an easy victory, she said to her officers. Ambassador Kang promised the Council these humans would surrender quickly. Perhaps Elder Taiho was right to warn about them, one officer dared to suggest. Minji silenced him with a glare. "We cannot fail. Send for reinforcements. We will crush these humans completely." As night fell over the burning earth, both sides prepared for a longer conflict than either had expected. The first battle was over. The war had just begun. Elder Taiho moved through the shadowy corridors of the Council archives. He had come here many times during his long life, but never in secret like this. His 4 eyes scanned for security drones. As he approached the restricted data terminals, "What I am about to do is treason," he whispered to himself. "But it is also right." He placed his blue hand on the scanner. His high-level clearance gave him access to the detailed files on Vargon, biology and technology. With quick movements, he copied the most important information to a small data crystal. 3 levels below the surface of what had once been Seoul, Dr. Hyun worked in a laboratory carved from bedrock. The facility had been a subway station before the attack. Now it housed some of Earth's brightest scientific minds. "Try the new frequency," Dr. Hyun told his team. "If my calculations are correct, it should disrupt their shield harmonics." Dr. Kim made the adjustments to their makeshift device. It was built from parts of captured Vargon weapons, combined with human electronics. The equipment hummed to life. High test platform sat a small piece of Vargon shield technology. As the device activated, the shield flickered and then failed completely. "It works," Dr. Kim shouted. The team cheered, their voices echoing in the underground chamber. "We need to mass-produce these immediately," said Dr. Hyun. "Every resistance cell on Earth needs this technology." Meanwhile, in orbit above Earth, Commander Minji received disturbing reports. 60 Earth days had passed since first contact, and the situation was not progressing as planned. "Humans in the eastern region have captured one of our forward bases," her officer reported. "They are learning to use our weapons against us." "Impossible," Minji said. "Our technology is too advanced for them to understand so quickly." "Evidence suggests otherwise, Commander. They are adapting at an unprecedented rate." Minji clicked her mandibles in frustration. What should have been a simple containment operation had turned into a prolonged conflict. The humans refused to surrender, despite the destruction of many of their major cities. Instead, they had gone underground, forming resistance networks that communicated in ways the Vargons struggled to track. On a Vargon outpost near the edge of the solar system, a communication officer detected an unusual signal. It originated from the Galactic Council, but was directed toward Earth. When he decoded it, he was shocked to find detailed information about Vargon physiology, including their respiratory vulnerabilities and nervous system weaknesses. "Inform Commander Minji immediately," he ordered. "Someone is helping the humans." Back on Earth, Lieutenant Jiwoo led her squad through the ruins of what had once been a beautiful coastal city. They moved silently, using the skills they had developed over the past months of guerrilla warfare. "Target ahead," whispered one of her soldiers. "Vargon patrol." Jiwoo raised her hand, signaling her team to stop. She activated the new device Dr. Hyun had sent. It was smaller than her palm, but potentially more valuable than any weapon. The Vargon soldiers walked closer, their tall, insect-like bodies moving with mechanical precision. They did not notice the humans hiding in the rubble. Their scanners showed nothing unusual. "Now," Jiwoo whispered. Her team activated their weapons, which had been modified with Dr. Hyun's technology. The Vargon shields flickered and failed. Before they could report the ambush, all 5 alien soldiers lay dead. "Collect their weapons and communication devices," Jiwoo ordered. "Then move to the next target." Across Earth, similar scenes played out. Humans had learned to defeat Vargon technology. They struck quickly and disappeared before reinforcements arrived. They shared information globally, adapting successful tactics from one region to use in another. In the Galactic Council chamber, Ambassador Kang received the disturbing news in the middle of a meeting. "Someone has betrayed us," he announced, his mandibles clicking rapidly in anger. "Classified information about our species has been transmitted to the humans." The council erupted in shocked discussions. Elder Taiho sat quietly, his blue face revealing nothing. "Who would dare commit such treason?" demanded the council leader. Kang's compound eyes fixed on Taiho. "There is only one who both warned us against engaging the humans and has access to such information." Guards surrounded Elder Taiho's seat. "Is this accusation true?" asked the council leader. Taiho stood slowly. "I did what was necessary to prevent a greater injustice. The Vargons attacked a species that offered no threat to. Thus they murdered billions." "Arrest him," Kang demanded. "Execute him immediately for treason against the Galactic Council." As guards led Taiho away, he spoke loudly enough for all to hear. "The humans now know your weaknesses. They learn faster than any species we have encountered. You have awakened something that cannot be stopped by simple force. I warned you to beware of humans, now you will understand why." Commander Minji received the news of Taiho's betrayal with cold fury. "Send the signal to the main fleet," she ordered. "We need every ship. We will end this human resistance once and for all." As thousands of Vargon warships began their journey toward Earth, Dr. Hyun put the finishing touches on his greatest creation yet. Using the information provided by Elder Taiho, he had developed a weapon that could target the specific biology of Vargon soldiers. "Will it work?" asked Dr. Kim. "Doctor." Hyun looked at the small device. "It will work, and it may save what's left of our world." The sky darkened over Earth as thousands of Vargon warships moved into position. Their massive hulls blocked the sunlight, casting shadows across the already devastated planet. This was the main Vargon fleet, the greatest collection of military power in the known galaxy. Commander Minji stood on the bridge of her flagship, looking down at the blue planet. 6 months had passed since first contact. What should have been a simple operation had turned into a frustrating war of attrition. "All ships in position," her tactical officer reported. "We await your command to begin the final assault." Minji's mandibles clicked with satisfaction. "The humans have fought well, but this ends today. Begin the attack." Energy beams lanced down from the fleet, striking targets across Earth's surface. Explosions bloomed across continents as the remaining human military bases were hit. Deep underground, in what had once been a government bunker, Commander Jiwoo studied the holographic display showing the Vargon fleet positions. She had been promoted after several successful operations against the aliens. Now she led Earth's remaining military forces. "They've committed everything," she told the assembled officers. "Just as we hoped." Dr. Hyun stood nearby, looking tired, but determined. "The shield disruptors are ready. Every strike team has been equipped with the new biological weapons as well." Jiwoo nodded. "Then it's time, send the signal." Around the world, hidden human bases received the coded message. Small ships that had been carefully hidden launched from underground hangars, from beneath ocean waters, from mountain caves. They were a fraction of the size of the Vargon vessels, but they carried Earth's last hope. On her flagship, Minji received the first reports with disbelief. "Humans are attacking our communication relays," her officer said. "They're ignoring our weapons, platforms, and targeting the command network instead." "Destroy them," Minji ordered. But the small human ships were difficult to hit. They moved in unpredictable patterns, using the massive Vargon ships for cover. Dr. Hyun's shield disruptors worked perfectly. The human vessels slipped through gaps in the Vargon defenses, attaching small devices to communication nodes. Within minutes, the carefully coordinated Vargon fleet began to experience communication failures. "I can't reach 3rd Squadron," reported Minji's communication officer. 5th Squadron reports the same issue. Minji pounded her control panel in frustration. "Switch to backup systems." But the humans had anticipated this. They had studied Vargon communication protocols from the data Elder Taiho provided. As soon as the backup systems activated, they too were targeted. Commander Jiwoo led the most critical mission personally. With a team of 11 soldiers, she piloted a small craft directly toward Minji's flagship. They had one chance to strike at the head of the Vargon fleet. 2 minutes to contact, said Corporal Do-Yun, her pilot. Their point defense systems are tracking us. Evasive maneuvers, Jiwoo ordered. Remember your training. Energy beams flashed past their ship as Do-hyun guided it through the Vargan defenses. They took several hits, but their shields held long enough to reach the flagship's hull. Cutting. Through now, said one of the team members, activating a powerful laser tool. Within minutes they had created an entrance. The team moved quickly through the alien corridors, facing resistance from Vargon soldiers. They used Dr. Hyun's biological weapons, devices that released a gas targeting the Vargan's unique respiratory system. The alien soldiers fell without firing a shot, unable to breathe in the presence of the specialized weapon. This way to the bridge, Jiwoo said, following the map they had memorized from captured ship layouts. More Vargan soldiers appeared. In the confined space, fighting was intense. One by one, Jiwoo's team fell. By the time they reached the bridge entrance, only she and Do-hyun remained. Ready? She asked him. He nodded, setting the final biological weapon. For Earth. They burst onto the bridge, deploying the weapon immediately. The Vargon officers collapsed, gasping for breath. Only Commander Minji, protected by her personal shield, remained standing. Impossible, Minji said, staring at the two humans who had somehow penetrated to the heart of her flagship. Jiwoo raised her weapon. Surrender your fleet. Never, Minji hissed, drawing her own weapon. The two commanders fired simultaneously. Do-hyun threw himself in front of Jiwoo, taking a blast meant for her. Jiwoo's shot penetrated Minji's shield, striking the Vargon commander in the chest. Minji fell, her mandibles clicking weakly. How? She whispered. You are primitive. You should have been easy to conquer. You were warned, Jiwoo said, kneeling beside her dying companion. Beware of humans. Throughout the fleet, the loss of the flagship created confusion. Without Minji's commands, without functioning communication systems, the carefully structured Vargon military fell into disarray. Ships began firing on each other in the chaos, unable to distinguish friend from foe. On Earth, people emerged from bunkers and hiding places to watch the spectacle above. The night sky was filled with explosions as the mighty Vargon fleet tore itself apart. In the Galactic Council chamber, the news arrived during an emergency session. For the first time in recorded history, a Vargon fleet had been defeated, and not by another advanced civilization, but by a species that had only recently achieved space travel. Impossible, Ambassador Kang whispered, his mandibles drooping in shock. In his detention cell, Elder Taiho smiled sadly. I warned you, he said quietly. Humans find strength in adversity. They turn impossibility into opportunity. And now the galaxy will never be the same. The Galactic Council chamber had never been so quiet. Thousands of delegates from across the galaxy watched as the doors opened to admit visitors no one had expected to see. Commander Jiwoo walked slowly down the central aisle, her military uniform bearing the scars of battle. Beside her walked Dr. Hyun, carrying a small case containing examples of the technology that had helped defeat the Vargon fleet. 3 months had passed since the battle. The news had spread across the galaxy. Humans, a supposedly primitive species, had defeated the most powerful military force known to exist. Many still couldn't believe it. Ambassador Kang sat rigidly in the Vargon section, his once proud mandibles now drooping in shame. His people had lost half their fleet. Their military reputation lay in ruins. The Vargon Confederacy, once feared throughout the galaxy, was now the subject of whispers and barely concealed mockery. The council leader's containment field glowed brightly as the gas-based being pulsed with formal colors of greeting. We welcome the representatives of Earth to this historic session, the leader announced. This is unprecedented. No species has ever joined the council so soon after achieving space travel. Jiwoo bowed slightly. We did not ask for this war. We would have preferred peaceful contact. The leader's field pulsed in acknowledgement. A mistake was made, one we now seek to correct. Guards entered, escorting Elder Taiho. The blue-skinned diplomat had spent months in detention awaiting execution for his treason. Now he walked with dignity to the central platform, his 4 eyes blinking at the sight of the humans. The council has voted to release Elder Taiho, the leader announced. His actions, while against our laws, have been judged as ultimately serving the greater good. Kang rose from his seat, mandibles clicking rapidly in anger. He betrayed the council. He gave classified information to an enemy. There would have been no enemy without your actions, Ambassador, Taiho replied calmly. The humans sought no conflict. You forced war upon them. Jiwoo stepped forward. We did not come here for revenge. We came to establish peace. Dr. Hyun opened his case, displaying the innovative devices humans had created during the war. We combined your technology with our own approaches. We believe there is much we can learn from each other. The council chamber buzzed with conversation. Many delegates moved closer to examine the human innovations. Remarkable, said a crystalline being from a distant system. They adapted Vargon, shield technology using principles we never considered. Another delegate, a methane breather in an environmental suit, studied Dr. Hyun's biological weapon. The specificity of this targeting system is beyond anything in our medical technology. The council leader called for order. We must address the formal matters at hand. The Vargon Confederacy faces sanctions for unauthorized aggression. Reparations must be paid to Earth for the damage caused. Kang's mandibles clicked in protest, but he remained silent. The once mighty Vargons had no choice but to accept the council's judgment. Taiho approached Jiwoo and Dr. Hyun. I regret that my warning came too late to prevent the war, he said softly. Many lives were lost unnecessarily. Many on both sides, Jiwoo replied. We do not hold you responsible, Elder. The council leader's field pulsed with formal colors again. We now vote on the admission of Earth as a full council member. The vote was unanimous, with one abstention from the Vargon delegation. It is decided, announced the leader. Earth joins the Galactic Council as our newest member, and with this historic moment, we establish a new principle in galactic law. A large screen displayed the new addition to the Council's founding document. Technological advancement alone does not determine a species' worth or capabilities. Diversity of approach and perspective strengthens us all. Jiwoo read the words carefully. This is a good beginning. In the following days, Earth established its first embassy on the Council homeworld. Ships from dozens of species visited Earth, bringing aid and technology to help rebuild. The deep scars of war would take generations to heal, but the future now held promise instead of extinction. One evening, Jiwoo stood on the balcony of the new embassy, looking at unfamiliar stars. Taiho joined her, his blue skin dimmed with age and stress. Your people adapt quickly, he observed. Already you speak several galactic languages. Your scientists work with technologies that would confuse most young species. We had good motivation to learn, Jiwoo replied. Survival is a powerful teacher. What will you do now, Commander? Taiho asked. Now that the war is over, Jiwoo looked out at the stars again. Ensure it never happens again. Earth will need defenders in this new galactic community. Not all species will welcome us as friends. A wise precaution, Taiho agreed. The galaxy is not always kind to newcomers. And you, Elder? What will you do now that you are free? Taiho's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. I have served the Council for 2 centuries. Perhaps it is time to serve something greater. The truth. I will write the history of this conflict, so future generations may learn from our mistakes. Below them, the lights of the embassy grounds illuminated representatives from 100 worlds, mingling and conversing. Humans, the newest members of galactic society, shared their stories, their music, their art. They feared us, Jiwoo said quietly. Is that why they attacked? Simple fear. Fear and arrogance, Taiho replied. A dangerous combination. The official council records were updated that night. Beside the entry for Earth, a simple notation was added. Beware of humans. They find strength in adversity and possibility, where others see only limitation. Jiwoo read it and smiled. A warning or a compliment? Perhaps both, said Taiho. The greatest species always inspire both fear and admiration.